It was just after 4 a.m. when the music died, and Kortne Stouffer's apartment finally went silent.
Something bad happened.
The party is over, and the beautiful young girl who lived here is missing.
I think Kortne surrounded herself with people she should not have.
A free spirit who loved the clothes, music, and attitude of the 1960s. But did all that peace and love lead down a dark road? For Kortne Stouffer, it all started here, in Palmyra, Pennsylvania. A perfect blend of country living and city life. The pretty green-eyed blonde grew up loving the outdoors and all it had to offer.
It's a very nice country setting. Waking up in the morning, the sun rises right in the front of the farm. And that was Kortne. She was just filled with brilliance and brightness.
She is exuberant, full of giddy energy and love.
I want you to close your eyes, take a minute, think about Kortne. What do you see?
I see Kortne in the middle of a beautiful sun, bright, warm. I can feel it right now. She always called me sunshine.
What is it like being Kortne's mom?
Kortne's laughter was loud and contagious and exciting. Kortne loved to laugh. She liked to have fun.
But even Kortne's parents admit their beautiful, loving daughter is also bold. Now they worry she may have been too bold for her own good.
When she was little, she was feisty and she had a mind of her own. Sometimes it rubbed people the wrong way. Sometimes she couldn't contain it or control it, and she irritated some people.
At 21, when this fresh-faced beauty leaves the safety of her parents' nest, that boundless energy blooms.
She was on her own for the first time. She got her own apartment with her boyfriend. So she was starting her life.
And Kortne, the free spirit, takes to her new independence like a moth to a flame.
Well, Kortne was 21. You know, she was going to the bars, she was partying, she was finding herself, she had her own apartment. She was a hippie at heart. She wore tie-dye everything.
Saturday, July 28th was supposed to be one long party for Kortne, her boyfriend Bradley, and other guests at their apartment. But before the night can even get started, neighbors call the cops and cut the party short.
Probably about 9 o'clock Saturday evening, authorities went over and did break up what was essentially kind of an underage drinking party.
Bradley is caught drinking, and that's a big problem. He was on probation for a DUI, so cops haul him off to jail. Kortne is furious with the busybodies next door.
Kortne already had issues with these people because she felt they were directly related to her boyfriend getting picked up that day. She believed they snitched on him because he had alcohol, or they saw someone bringing alcohol into the home.
She and her friends decide to move the party down the road to the nearby town of Harrisburg. But more alcohol isn't the cure for Kortne's fury. She gets into a screaming match with another guy and his girlfriend at the bar.
If Kortne had a problem with you, she would physically say it, and if you throw a little bit of alcohol to it, it even brings out some of the feelings that you have inside already.
Kortne's kicked out of the bar, and now she's really fuming. She heads back to her apartment with an old friend, Cody Pruitt. Cody's following Kortne to make sure she gets home safe.
I feel like she didn't want to be there by herself. And she knew that there was problems with the neighbors, and probably bringing a big strapping fella back might help the situation.
And she's looking to settle the score with her nosy neighbors.
She confronts the neighbors, shouting, screaming, yelling.
Cops are called a second time. Kortne and her neighbor Todd were about to come to blows.
The police came. They were all outside in the yard, and Kortne was in Todd's face. They were chest to chest and yelling at each other. And the police came and told them all to go back into their own apartments and just to leave each other alone.
Cody takes Kortne inside to cool down, but Kortne is on fire.
Kortne was still upset when she got up into her apartment. She was stomping on the floor and yelling at the neighbors. Cody said she was irate. She was so mad at them for calling the police.
Less than an hour later, cops are called again. But this time, to their surprise, officers find nothing but peace and quiet.
The police came a little bit after 4, and by then all of the apartment lights were off in Kortne's apartment.
The officers went up to Kortne's apartment. It was quiet, and the determination was made that if the disorderly behavior's not occurring any longer, we're going to leave it go and let the people sleep it off.
What do you think about that, Scott?
It sucks. I mean, they had that one chance. One chance. But in this one case, when they could have saved a young girl's life, possibly, they don't knock the door down. They know there was already a situation. Why?
At 7:30 that morning, Cody wakes up. Kortne is nowhere to be found.
Cody told Scott that he didn't see Kortne, so he left. And he went to a local convenience store where he texted her.
But Kortne would never receive that text. Sometime in the previous 3 hours, she went missing.
Monday morning when I woke up, I just had a really uneasy feeling. So as soon as I got up, I went straight to her apartment because I hadn't heard from her. No one had heard from her all day Sunday.
What Kortne's mom finds is disturbing. Not because anything is wrong, but because everything is exactly where it should be. Except Kortne.
Her keys were on the floor where she always threw them. Her shoes were kicked off where she would always kick them off. Her dog met me and I said, "Where's Mommy? Where's Mommy?" And I knew something was wrong immediately because if she went outside even for a walk, she took the dog with her. If she went anywhere in her car, she took the dog with her. And her car was sitting in the driveway with the windows down. The longer the time went on and the more we waited, and she didn't come back.
And the longer Kortne's parents wait, the more their panic grows.
What do you think happened?
The problem with this case is there's so many suspicions. I mean, really. Kortne made some enemies that night.
Did that fight with the neighbor go too far? Did the bar brawl follow Kortne home? Next, police and family are stumped.
Well, there's no physical evidence to suggest what happened. We don't have a crime scene.
Then comes this shocker.
They killed Kortne, rolled her up into a carpet, and drove her to Memorial Lake.